Yeah. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. I am delighted to have this Shabbat to come to here. We are getting closer to the high holidays. I hope that all of us, we are preparing ourselves. This, if you were a little bit attentive about the reading of the Half Torah, this time we read Yeshayahu, Hanavi, the prophet Isaiah, from 50 to 13 to 53:12. And this is the passages about that are so controversial among our sages and our rabbis, because they speak too clear sometimes to a figure that we as Jewish people, we have had problems to understand it. And also because what they have done misinterpretations and misunderstandings, the rabbi decided to jump these passages because it was too controversial and was going to give it to certain people because of how was explained by the other religions, could give a mixed message. You know, I have never been afraid about the truth. You know, I have repeated so many times about what Yeshua say. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And knowing the truth is a euphemistic term to know that you shall know the Creator, you shall know the Borei Olam, you shall know the Almighty One, blessed be His name, and He is the one that will make you totally free, to make you outside all those things that are holding you back. All of us, by nature, as human beings, you know, we have ideas, and we have ideas about the different things and about spiritual things and things like that. And sometimes we do not know even what to believe. One of the greatest problems that we have faced through the times is about any religion has been very, very, very harmful to many societies because they has imposed their beliefs by force. They has imposed their beliefs by making you follow them, and if you didn't follow them, they will kill you or destroy you. Almost every religion that you know has done that. And when they are a majority, they impose over the minorities, and they trying to destroy those ones or to eliminate those ones who do not believe like them. In this parasha of this week, called Tetze, so when you go out, and it is a portion where it has the greater number of injunctions or misvotes from the 613 that our sages has named and has annotated. That these 74 of these misvotes or injunctions are very interesting because they are not put it there in order that we can say, you know, we can analyze it one by one and to say that there has an order or a direction where to go. But there is an overt arc, a covering about what these 74 injunctions speak to us. It is about human rights. And it's interesting how it's speaking through human rights, through the list of, in the time that the Torah was giving, to look for those ones that they have less value or less rights, or they are defenseless in comparison to the rest of the society. Start in this parasha, start when they go out to war, and one of the soldiers, you know, what happened in war, even today, and in the Second World War. I don't know if you are familiar with this. The Japanese, when they invaded China and Korea, they really, what they did with their women was not only they raped the women, but they make houses of prostitution, with these women, and they use it during all the war. That was we would say that it's so advanced society was so barbaric in their mentality. Why? Because they didn't have the Torah. And what the Torah teach you? The Torah teach you to be kind and merciful with the weakest. Be kind and merciful with the lowest of the lowest. And he starts here with a young woman, who is captured. Okay, this young woman is captured in war. And what any nation in the world, even today, we have seen ISIS and all this group, what they have done, Boko Haram in Africa. What they do with the girls that they capture, they rape them. That's the first thing that they do. They don't have any respect for the girls. They use it as a thing. Already the Torah is telling the soldiers, the Israeli soldiers, if you look at a young girl that you like it, you fall in love, do not touch it. Take it home. And for a month, it's going to be in your house. And in that month, she is going to be able to wear the laws of her family and the mother and father, and she will be able to make it right with herself too. And then after that, if you want it, you can marry her. But if you do not marry her, you do not have the right to mistreat her, to sell her, or to be a slave. You need to let her go free. Look at how advanced it is and how the human rights are applied, because today it's totally different. Today we live, in a world that we call human rights whenever it's convenient to us, but when it's not convenient to us, there is no human rights. And most of the people who talks about human rights are the worst. That is very interesting. The most advanced nations, the most progressive nations that they call it, that they talk about human rights, and they are the worst. Because we live in a very hypocritical society. Well, in this parasha, this 74 injunction is talking from the women, how to treat the women, how to treat the children if you have two wives. And that time there were the multiple marriages. It was normal because that was the society that they needed the system to protect the woman. Marriage was a way to protect the women. You needed to, even if you didn't like your first wife and you changed another wife, this firstborn has the rights. Then comes about the child that it is rebellious in the house. And what you need to do. How much we have lost today about having a home in where you can discipline your children. Now it's a no. We have become so liberal, so open-minded. Dr. Spock in the 60s, 50s and 60s, he changed the mentality of the world. Now children cannot be touched. Children cannot be told anything. Children cannot be even led to be corrected. And they can do whatever they can do. And we are suffering the consequences today of children that are not being educated in the right way, and they are, what we are building more and more are jails, prisons, instead to build more universities and schools. Now we are building more prisons. Why? Because the parents are not any longer parents, and the authorities are not any longer authorities. We do whatever we need to do. But we are failing today miserably. And we call it, this passage is calling about human rights. What is human rights here? Because the Creator is leading to us to be merciful with the weakest, with the lowest, with the indefense, the one that cannot take care himself. And even here, we have, for some of you that are animal lovers, here talks about protection of the animals. Even when we talk, when you see a nest, and you see the bird in the nest, you need to let the bird goes away, and then you can take the eggs. Even in that simple sense, that you care about the feelings, if animal has feelings, of the animals. And you care about, you don't kill the animal, don't mistreat the animals. Don't put an ox and a mule together, or a donkey together. There were a lot of, even in the farmers, when you are going to plant, don't plant mixed seeds, because you're going to have, at the end, what is going to happen, the strong seed is going to destroy the weak seed, and you're going to have the production. All is telling you that if you are fair, you are just, you are merciful to the wicked, you can have an extended life. This is human rights. And human rights start with ourselves. Don't start with the neighbor. Start with ourselves. We have seen today, and we are looking at, last week we had a discussion about a certain thing that were happening, and if we can hate or not hate the enemies. Here, at the end of this parasha, they said that we need to obliterate Amalek. And people need to understand, it's not to destroy people for the sake of destroying. Because here say the rebellious child needs to be cut off. The woman who get in a fight and touch the other man in the private part, supposedly you need to cut their hands. And there are certain things that sounds, if you read it literally, you miss the point. And this is the problem of many religions, that they do not understand not only the message, but they become so literalist that they miss the point of the teaching. Here in every case it is, you need to cut evil from society from the beginning, because if you don't cut evil from society, evil is going to destroy society. And that's what is happening right now. We were talking about, not long ago, about different governments and different leaders in the world. And the saddest part is that most of the world is full of political leaders. They are corrupted. The political world is corrupt. The world is corrupted. Everywhere it is corruption. Doesn't matter how advanced are the countries or how behind the countries. All of them, you find corruption. There is some kind of organization who publish every year, who are the most corrupted countries in the world. You will surprise which countries you're going to find there as corrupted. And we look at them as the example of other countries. This is the problem that we are living today. The Creator, when He gave us these injunctions, was to make us aware that we need to protect those ones that cannot protect themselves. That is our calling. When the scriptures say, go to the widow, go to the orphan, go to the foreigner. Why do you use these three types? Because they are the ones that have less defenses, and they are more vulnerable than any other group. And we need to look right now. Last week when they were trading about this situation, it's interesting how the news are twisting the truth. Right now, the countries that are blamed for the problem with immigration, especially in Europe and also in America, are the countries who can receive the immigrants. You know? And they are supposedly the bad people because they're not receiving everyone. And we do not see the real problem. Who has created that problem? Why that problem? Why you don't look at the cause of the situation instead of trying to blame the others? You know, this is saying I have repeated many times, and I say it, and many of you already have get it. And I say, you know, it is like when you have a disease or you have some kind of problem, you know, and what do? You cover up the problem, and you think that covering up the problem, you are going to be healed. You know, if you have something in your skin or anything like that, and something comes to you, the only thing that you do is you cover. You know, the bandage is more important than the disease. Yeah, and you don't worry about the disease. And this is the problem that we are suffering today. We are a people of bandage. We are covering the thing that we don't like to see, covering. But we are not dealing with the problem. The Creator say, you need to deal with the issue. You cannot run from it. We can blame, you know, others constantly because we are always as good as blaming others. But let me tell you, many things that happen in other parts of the world are directly a product of what is happening in the most developed countries too. You know, you keep your country in a very well state, and you don't mind to exploit other less developed countries. And you use evil people, corrupted people, to govern those countries. In that way, you can have as much as you can and to spoil them. This is the political science of today. You know, the strong, the most corrupted, is the one that goes ahead. If you are the most just and more orderly in your affairs, you are the one that suffer more. I'm going to give you a big example that people don't like it, but it's the truth. What is the country that is more maligned today in all over the world? What is the country that the United Nations has more incidents than any other country in the world? What is the country that supposedly has gone against all the human rights of the world? What is the only country? Little bitty Israel. And little bitty Israel is the one that has done more good to the rest of the world. And look at it. You know, have you heard anything about what Venezuela is doing? Have you heard only one accusation in the United Nations against Venezuela today? What about Syria? What about Iran? What about North Korea? What about Russia? And what about these African countries that are destroying and killing their own people? No, you don't hear anything. But the only one that you hear, who is little bitty Israel, who is doing so much for the rest of the nations. You know, just last week, the secretary of the United Nations, the new secretary that is from Portugal, came to visit Israel. And they had a presentation. It was the Prime Minister of Israel and him. And the Prime Minister of Israel said, I am so glad that you came to here, but let me tell you this. I don't know why the United Nations function it is. Because look like that the only thing that you do is to accuse Israel of every evil thing that Israel even had not done it. And you go over and you close your eyes about what is going on in the rest of the world. And then they talk about the United Nations forces that are supposedly defending and protecting Israel from the enemies and the part of Lebanon. And the ambassador of the United States in the United Nations questioned this person, the leader of these forces. And he said, I have never seen one weapon going from Hezbollah, from Iran to Lebanon. No one weapon. Okay? Israel showed not one weapon. Showed caches and pictures and everything. And they say they have never seen it. There is no worse blind than the one that doesn't want to see, and there is no worse deaf than the one that doesn't want to hear. We are living in a very hypocritical world. And this is why this is the human rights portion. Because here the human rights, it is be honest first with yourself. Because if you cannot be honest with yourself, how can you be honest with others? You know, and going back to the basics. You know, you say, Rabbi, I am tired of you repeating to me the 10 Commandments. I am tired that you always, the only thing that you go back to the 10 Commandments. They're so basic, and we don't do one, less any of them. You know, the 3 first is my relationship with the Creator. Most of the world has eliminated the Creator in their life. We are now humanists. Then, the second 2, that is in relationship with myself, what is going to give me time and time, more important. Keep the Shabbat is for me. And honor my father and my mother is for me. What have we done? We don't need it. We can work whenever we want it. We can do whenever we want it, you know. And then we are complaining, I hurt here. Oh, I cannot hurt. I don't know why everything hurts. Because we don't take a time. Okay? Then, why my children, or why my family, they don't love me, or why I don't have anybody? Have you kept your family? Have you been faithful to your family? Have you dealt with them? You know, have talked to them? You know, doesn't matter if they respond to you or no, but have you? It's not what others say, it's what you do. Remember this. Do not expect others. You are responsible for yourself. You're not responsible for the rest. And this is the mentality that we need to change. We are constantly expecting what others do. No. It's what you do, what you are, how you act, how you open you are. That's the responsibility. And the last 5 commandments, they are the relationship with my neighbor. You know, the relationship with others. And my rights ends when the rights of others begin. You know, and I need to be respectful of others, even if I don't like them. Do you know that you don't need to like a person in order to respect the person? And this among nations is the same thing. Maybe there are nations that are disliked with passion, you know, but that's the way that they want to be. That is their choice. We have not been called to be the moralizing force in the world. We need to speak the truth, but we cannot change anybody. The only one that can change the world is our Creator, blessed be His name. That is the reason that we expect in the coming of Mashiach. Because we are part of this, making it right. We need to speak out, yes, but we cannot force anybody to make it right. It is part of each one. Do you understand about what the Torah is teaching us today? And I will live in the Torah. Because to live the Torah, it is not about religious formulas. And this is the problem that we are embedded. Many of us, we think that the Torah is to follow formulas. Has nothing to do with formulas. The Torah means that the Torah is inside you. You are a living Torah. And to be a living Torah means to walk with the Creator hand by hand. You are with Him. And He is with you. And His light shines through you. You are not holier than thou. And you are not better than anybody else. Stop trying to be what you are not. Start being who we are. Because our Creator didn't commit a mistake with you or with me. How we make us. And each one of us, we have been made wonderful before His eyes. And each one of us, we have a purpose in life. Let's look for it. And let's work for it. But do not blame others for your situation. It's so easy to blame others for everything. It's so easy to look fault on others. You know? Every time when something happens, don't look at the others. Look at yourself. I am doing it or I am not doing it. It's so easy to look for excuses. You know, one thing that you're going to learn about when you have become a religious person, they say, make the law, make the way out. And then you are always looking for a way out. You are always looking for an excuse. You are always trying to justify your actions instead to take responsibility for your own actions. This is what is the teaching of this week the Creator wants. And when He says that we need to annihilate, to erase the memory of Amalek, you need to understand what Amalek means. Because Amalek is not a race. Amalek is an evil people. Amalek is the destructive people that we need to eliminate. People that don't deserve to live because they are so destructive that they are destroying everybody and they're going to destroy humanity. To me, the saddest part it is when people use religion to justify their crimes. To me, it's very sad to see how holier than thou people justify their actions to destroy other people. No. What the Creator said, obliterate all these people. There's a term in Judaism that we call a sinat hinam. That is the gratuitous, the free hate. And you hate only for the sake of hating. You know, how you ask yourself why God doesn't say to destroy Egypt, but to destroy Amalek? What is the difference between Egypt and Amalek? Egypt was as evil as Amalek. Egypt started killing the boys. Egypt trying to totally enslave Israel. Egypt was not the best of the best. At the beginning gave us opportunity to stay there because of Joseph. But after that, they forgot the new group. But what was the difference with Amalek? You see, even the Pharaoh, who was trying to stop Israel, he did it because of fear that Israel could one day overtake them. They were protecting themselves. Was not a free hate. Was a sense of preservation or conservation. But Amalek did it for the sake of joy, to kill the witches. And they start killing the ones that were behind. And that's what the Torah today teaches you, to take care of the weakest. A society is greater when take care of the weakest. not when they take care of the strongest. The strongest can take care of themselves. The one that they cannot take care of themselves. You know, a beautiful animal. Why do you need to abuse an animal? What an animal has done to you to abuse them? You know, today, for the sake of production, for the sake of to having more, I don't care. Our Creator is crying to see what are we human beings we have done with this world that He gave us to us in a very special way. And all of us, we are responsible. Don't look at the neighbor. Look at yourself. Every change starts with ourselves. Don't look and don't wait that somebody else is going to change. It is you, the one that needs to change. It's me, the one that needs to change. And when I realize that I can improve, I can be better for not only for myself, but I can be better for my family, I can be better for my community, I can be better for the country which I live. This is the real thing. That's what our Creator is teaching us in this week. Then, how do you destroy evil? Evil likes to walk on darkness. Evil loves to be in obscurity. You know, I always say, and I have this statement, I give to many people enough rope that they can hang themselves. Interesting today talks about curse the person that is hung on the tree. You know, I give it enough rope, and themselves, they are going to hang themselves. You know, and what I mean for me to hang themselves, they are going to show themselves who they really are. Most of us, we have learned to wear a mask. That's the hypocrisy of the world. Most of us, we live with a mask. The Creator wants to take the mask away from you and make you who you are. Be yourself. Because He made you with love and the best. And each one of us, we have the right to be. That's the reason that evil, the only way that you can destroy evil is by unmasking evil, by making clear who they are, because they do not like to be known who they are. The world doesn't want to see. And like I say to you, there is no worse blind, like I say our Messiah Yeshua. There is no worse blind than the one that doesn't want to see, and there is no worse deaf than the one that doesn't want to hear. Are you listening? Are you looking at? Are you seeing? Are your eyes open and your heart available to serve our Creator? Let's be a living Torah. Let's walk with the presence of the Creator in us. No, I am not talking about being religious. I am not talking about formulas. I am talking about living and living for others. Shabbat Shalom.